Okay. Hey there, everybody. I am Omega, your friendly neighborhood, whatever you want to call me. And today I'm going to be doing a painting video, but I wanted to do it a bit differently. I wanted to do it with a GoPro on my face so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I thought this would be a fun idea if I was to paint something on a canvas, but like so you can see exactly what I'm doing, what I'm seeing through basically what's my point of view here using a GoPro. So yeah, I'm going to be just doing like a basic landscape painting, hopefully trying to just do something that's enjoyable to watch, and maybe we'll even add something fun to the landscape painting. But yeah, I'm going to go through what materials I'm using, the steps I'm taking, how I learned how to paint landscapes in a more Bob Ross style, but using like acrylic paints. So yeah, I think this will be a fun experiment, and we'll see what can happen here. So the canvas I'm using here is a Master's Touch 8x10 canvas panel, and I like these because you can put your title, the medium, your signature, the date, everything on the back. But they're nice and thin. They're pretty cheap, and they come in a big pack. And I work better on more flat surfaces rather than like more stretched canvas. Although I have used stretched canvas a lot in the past. And then I'm using some basic paint brushes here. These are some more crafty, cheap ones, but I just needed like a detail brush, a basic round brush, and a filbert. And then I have a bristle 2-inch brush. And then down here, the rest of my paint brushes I'll be using are some long-handled bristle brushes. So there's a flat one there. And then filberts, which are some of my more favorite because just of how versatile they are, because you can get that round, but you can also get the same effects of a normal flat brush as well as a round brush using a filbert brush. And I will also be using a couple of palette knives. So I have a basic flat angle one, which I can use to do mountains and whatnot. And then the more mixing and detail knives here that I have 3 different sizes of. So, but yeah, and then I have a basic jar of water. I'm not going to have 2 jars of water like a lot of people like to use. I'm just going to use the basic one here. And I do have, we're going to prime the canvas with like a sort of gesso, but I have a paper plate, I have Mod Podge and white paint here. Matte is the best one if you want to prime your canvases. I do have an extra palette just in case, which I'm probably going to need. And then my more fancy acrylics. I do have a lot of some craft acrylics over here, but I'm probably not going to use those as much just because those are more, cheaper craft acrylics. I have these more expensive ones over here, like these golden open acrylics, and these more heavy body acrylics over here. I got a Soho one in there, so we're going to try and use those and, try to use the least amount of extra color because, like, as you can see here, this is like a purple color. I'm going to be mixing my own colors here. So I guess we should just get started. And the first thing I usually do, which I haven't done this in a while, last time I did it with oil paint, and it was fun, but I remember finding painting like this a lot of fun and, relaxing in a way. But here we go. And I think this is already pre-primed, but I want to re-prime it so that way I can sort of blend my background into the stuff I'm using here. And we're going to be using this for that. I'm going to show you how to do that. This isn't really going to be more tutorial. It's going to be more just like a paint through and showing you my process. So I'm going to put, oh, whoops. I really didn't know it was going to come out that fast. I was trying to put a little bit there. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Let's go white. And this is just going to be so I can blend my background into the back. And I'm going to grab this one. Actually, I'm going to grab a bigger one because there's a lot of material to work with here. So I'm going to grab just a little bit of Mod Podge. You don't want a lot of that, but I just use it because it's like nice and matte, and it will help stick to the canvas board a little better. People say not to use Mod Podge. I don't really care. I mean, I don't really do a lot with my Mod Podge, and I really only use it for stuff like this. So just try to mix them together. I'm trying to get more Mod Podge in there. I think that's fine. I'm going to put a little bit more paint, and then I'm just going to mix it all together because who knows how much of this I'll need. And it's not like I'm going to use all of it. I'm just using it for the base of the canvas here. There we go. Get all that Mod Podge in there. Alright, so now I'm going to use my 2-inch brush here. And I'm just gonna get some of this on there, and I'm gonna start spreading it across the canvas. And you really don't want, you wanna do this kind of quickly because your canvas can dry before you get everything you need to get done on it. So that's not really a good thing when you need it to be wet while you're working here. So, you know, you don't want it to be dry while you're trying to blend your color in. And normally Bob Ross uses liquid white, or wet white as they call it, magic white, which is an oil-based paint, and that is not something I have at hand. Normally I'd use gesso, but I don't have gesso. And this is acrylic paint, so I can't really use oil paint because I would use liquid white. I have the ability to make that right now, but I'm not going to. I can't use that at the moment because I'm doing acrylic paint. And in case you didn't know, the chemistry between oil paint and acrylic paint, they do not mix very well. They are not soluble with one another, so they're not very good for this type of painting if you want to do both of them in a mixed media form. Gouache and acrylic works really well though. That is something that I think works really well. I'm just gonna set that in there. All right, let's grab some, I think I have phthalo blue, right? Yeah. So yeah, if you know anything about Bob Ross, he'll use he'll use phthalo blue a lot in his paintings. And I'm gonna grab a nice big brush here. I got a lot of paint brushes, so time to make use of them. I'm just gonna grab this, do the classic tap the color in. And while this is wet, I'm just gonna blend in some color so we can get a nice light blue sky here going. And that's basically how I've always done landscapes, is the way Bob Ross does it. I kind of need a little bit more of that here. Yeah, I'm a very messy painter, so if you see me doing some things that look strange and you're normally a person who likes to paint landscapes like this, just know this is just how I do it, and I'm going to be doing it very messy. That's just how I roll. All right, here. I'm trying not to smudge. I'm just trying to hold the back of it so I don't move the entire thing around. That probably needs to be blended in a bit more. This part always takes the longest. It gets a lot more interesting once you actually get everything in, like all the color in the background. Uh-oh, it's starting to dry down there. Probably gonna have to reapply that. I'll go ahead and do that now just because it's all gonna be blue anyway. So it's not like it's gonna matter. As much blue as I can get on there, the better. Get it all the way down to the corner here. And this is gonna be a much smaller painting. I know people like Bob Ross use a lot larger canvases, but I'm gonna be using just a basic 8x10 canvas here. There we go. It's a little thick down there, a little thick. It's already starting to dry, I think, so which is why part of the problem why I'm having to push the paint a little bit, especially since it's acrylic paint. If this was so sorry you're watching me grab that off of there. If this was oil paint, it would be a lot easier because it's a lot more wet. It takes a lot longer to dry, so you can actually get your color on and actually work it out before it dries. But acrylic, you have to go fairly fast because of just how fast it actually does dry, which is pretty quick if you know anything about paint, which I do. And I don't do a lot of acrylic painting. I have a lot of acrylic paints. I mostly paint like sculptures or custom paint little toys and stuff when I'm using acrylic paint, but it's very rare I'll do a full acrylic painting. And I used to do them a lot more when I first started getting into it. But, and I can use a little bit of water here actually to actually blend that out. If you use a little bit of water, you can definitely help you smoothen things out. You know, reactivate the paint a little bit and get it smoother. That's a good trick I learned from a channel called Clive 5 Art, is when you're doing landscapes, if you use it more like a watercolor in the beginning, it'll dry a little bit less quick and you'll have more time to work it before it dries. There we go. I think it looks all right. It's a little streaky down there. And this will be cut up. I'm gonna do a couple cuts. I'm not gonna do this a full thing because I don't want you to be completely bored while you're watching me work here, because this can get pretty boring. to watch me just spreading blue over a canvas for 30 minutes or so, which can take even longer doing acrylics. Some people think oils take a long time, but that's not really true, because oil paint is, yeah, it takes a lot longer to dry, but acrylic paint, you're gonna have to reactivate it and add more and more layers, which takes a lot longer than just putting your layers on with oil paint and then, you know, having it done so you can move on to the next part. In this, it's a lot harder because you have to get the entire layer done. I'm going to leave all that whiter down there because we're going to be putting some foliage down there in a sec. Well, I'm going to be. I don't know if you're following along, but I'm going to be putting some foliage on down there. Getting little itty bitty streaks here. There we go. Okay, so that's fine for now. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of water and just carefully bring my brush over it, just because it's a little streaky in some parts. It's okay if you like that style, but I'm trying to go with a little bit more realistic, just using the skills that I have, which are probably long gone by now, because I have not painted a full landscape in a while. I'm telling you, it's been a long while. I think the last one I did maybe was like 2 years ago. But yeah, that looks good to me. I'm gonna let it dry, or I'm not gonna let it dry. We want to do some clouds here, so let's try and get some clouds. Let's get a more soft brush. Let's do a fan here. And uh-oh, my handle came off. Uh-oh, that's what happens when you get cheapo brushes. Gonna have to re-glue that on. I do have another fan. Oops. No. Let's put a little bit of water on this, so we can actually get it movable. I don't think this is how Bob Ross did his clouds, but I'm doing them like this. And we're just gonna go in. It's still a little wet in some areas, so where it's wider, we're just gonna go, yeah, like that. Like that. With a smaller canvas, you have to be sure not to make it too clouded, I guess, which is cloud pun, but because if it's a smaller canvas, you don't want to be too crowded. So I think I'll do more cloudy towards the top. Have more foliage towards the bottom. I think that'll be a good idea for this. And I'm just using that same wet white from before, or wet white, whatever it's called. And you guys, if you're following along, which I'm sure some of you are, some of you probably aren't, can do this too. And then he does this, he'll fluff the clouds, which I always like that. That's a fun way of putting it. Like a pillow, like you're fluffing the clouds. So I think that looks fine for some clouds at the top. I'm gonna put a little bit more white on that, just because it's blending in with the background. I don't want it to look like I did just a background like that. So let's think here. I could do a mountain like Bob Ross does them, so we could try that. He does black, and he'll usually put a little dash of blue in there, so let's put a little dot of black, because I don't need a ton of black. I'm not doing a lot of paint here. And then we're going to take the white from over here, take a little bit of that, and a little bit of black, and then mix that together, and we'll add blue to it later. I did have a bigger palette, but for some reason I can't find it, so I'm gonna have to use this tiny little palette to do all my mixing. I could do it on this plate, but this plate is kind of cluttered with other paint colors. And you'll take a little bit of blue, which makes sense, because if you're gonna have it be that color, the sky is blue, you're gonna have to have whatever your background usually. Art tip 101 is that your background usually is going to determine the color of your shadows and stuff. So like if your background's blue, like you look at shows if the sky is purple, or they'll shade with purple usually, like stuff like that. So you got to pay attention to that when you're doing shading or color of anything really. So I think that'll be good there. All right, so it'll cut it, pull it down, and then cut it across. I think I need a little bit more than that. There we go. Yeah, I'm trying to think here. Let's go. like that. And then take it and go, oh, take this and cut it across down there. Oh, it's gonna be a bumpy mountain. Uh-oh. Problem with Bob Ross is you're able to fix your mistakes when you do a style of painting like he does with his oil paints. This, if you make a mistake, you're gonna have to do a lot more to fix it, because you can't just fix it like you do with oil paint. You can't just go over it or whatever. You have to do a lot more. Okay, I think that's good there. Let's use this brush and just kind of blend it in. Oh, it's always the mountains that get me on these. We can use a little bit of water here just to get those to spread a little bit better. There we go. If the paint starts feeling like you're having to pull it rather than just glide it across the canvas, that's when you probably want to use water. Because it's probably drying and it's probably gonna get all over the place. Not where you want it to go. And you're gonna have to start using some water to get it down to where you need it to go. All right. There we go. I think it's mostly fine. I'll go back in and fix some of the mistakes in a sec. Just gonna blend it out a little bit more. I'm not gonna do like water like Bob Ross does, because I hate doing water. It's not very fun to do with the blending. All right. Now we gotta find out what we want to do for like trees. We could do like a big tree here and one here, and put some bushes or something. I don't know. We'll see what works. We'll see what I think here. Let's put more black in there, because I know we're gonna need a lot of that for what I'm trying to do here. Alright, so I'm going to use a fan brush, and normally I'd use a more bristly brush, but I just want to get like something like this. And if you're wondering why I'm using black, you're about to find out. Unless you've watched a Bob Ross, a lot of his paintings, you'll understand what I'm doing here. So I got the outline of that. I need some kind of pokey brush. I don't really want to use that big one, because that's going to take forever. Do I have any other brushes that are more pokey and bristly? No. Let me see down here real quick. I could probably just use this one. It'll be fine. Do this here. Okay, that's a messy palette. If you don't have a messy palette, you're not an artist. Alright, we need more black for this here. Let's just mash that in, cover up all of the white and blue that's down there. Not all the way, because we want it to look a little bit like grass here. There we go. We'll do a nice little valley leading up to the hill. So that's what we're gonna do. That's what my brain is telling me. We need more black here. You know what? I'll just put black on the mixing part and then just mix it like that instead of trying to get it out of that little pocket. That'll be easier for me. So have it like that without too much black up there. We're gonna do the back up a little lighter. Okay. Man, that is making a lot of noise. Okay. I think that's good for now. Okay. So now we're going to grab some yellow. And you want like a brighter yellow. Like this is a I don't know what that says. It's like a canary yellow, basically. And that one's a little thin. That's more like a fluid acrylic, so that one's a little bit thinner. We're gonna grab yellow here and just mix it in with the black, because when you do black and yellow, it makes a nice earthy green color, in case you didn't know. That's why we're doing black for all the other plants, because it does that. And black works good with putting green highlights or yellow highlights over it. So I'm just going to do this, get it to where I like it. I don't need it to be that dark. We can do darker, and then we'll move up lighter and lighter and lighter. You can mix a little blue in there just to get it to look a little bit more green, but for now I'm just going to tap on some darker green highlights. If you can see that, it kind of looks green, so. This is the fun part, putting in plants. That's always my favorite part. I love nature. All right, here we go. We're gonna put it in now. So if that happens, just stamp it in a little bit more. So look at that, see? It looks pretty realistic. Thanks, Bob. Really taught me something. There we go. Get that tapped in there. We're gonna do more brighter in the back a little bit, so we're gonna go a little bit brighter just so you can see it. But we're gonna go darker up front. Or maybe we should do, yeah, let's do brighter up front and darker in black. That's like backgrounds 101 kind of, you know? So you don't want to stamp too much color on though to the point it just looks like a big green blob. Just stamp it on, and then we can do other details like stuff in there later. So let's do that. You want it to be brighter on the top, you know, because that's where the sun is shining. Where the sun don't shine, you don't want any brightness. And I usually imagine the sun's coming from this area, this angle, so like up and this way, like you're standing behind, the sun is behind you looking at it, and it's in front of you. We're gonna go a little bit darker. Let's pick up some of this darker green color in the back and just stamp that there. Very, very versatile. We're gonna stamp in some black to make it look like that's like a tree opening down there. So it's like that's the opening to the forest. Kind of creepy. Uh-oh. It's a little too dark for my liking. Let me grab yellow and mix it in a bit here. Okay, we'll go back and fix that later. And then do a couple dirtier, stipplier ones looking up there. Like that, yeah. Yeah, it's all right. We'll blend the rest of that in just a sec here. Opening down there, like that. I'm stamping in while there's still black on the brush there to get that to blend in better, because there's still black up here that looks like it's just out of place. I don't want that to look out of place. I want it to look like it's a part of it. So, like it's all broken up over here. If you can still see blue through your foliage, there's probably something wrong with it, and you gotta. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it probably would look better if you just stamp it. So it looks like more like trees from far away. This looks more like grass, if that makes sense. That's why I'm using this fatter brush that doesn't do as many stipply details, because it's gonna look more like trees because it's far away, so you're not gonna see as many of those details. We need more, like another pop of a warm color in there. I don't think that's mixed very well. It's very wet. The black one is a lot more thick. That one seems a lot more wet. Okay, here, we're gonna grab yellow, because I feel like this needs to be brighter. It's too dark. This isn't what grass looks like. Grass isn't all dead and dark like that. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit nicer. And then grab more yellow and do it on the top just to get it to match a little better. There we go. Not so pickly green now. Okay, that looks good. I want to do kind of like a tree right here. So I don't really remember how Bob does the trees. I don't really need to do it how he does them, but I think he uses a fan brush. Where's my black paint? Like that. So we'll do, uh-oh, that's not good. That's looks a little messy. We'll do two big ol', not big, but you know, little twiggy like trees right here. There we go. Told you it's been a while since I've done this, so I'm good, but I'm not that good. So we'll do one there, and I don't know, we'll do like a bush here with some red berries in it to add some contrast to all of the brighter colors we're seeing. And since he always does, we gotta do some brown on the tree, so let's grab red or maroonish red here. And I do have a green we can use because I'm not going to mix a whole green color for this. We don't have anywhere to mix this, do we? Let's just do it in here. Green and red, just a little bit of red. And we need more green, don't we? For brown here. It seems too watery. It seems too watery. Let me move this knife out of the way and do it on here. Green. And then red. There we go. That'll probably get me a nice brown. You can get brown by mixing any complementary colors. Yellow and purple. Blue and orange probably would be a good one. Green and purple, and then green and red is a very good one. That will get you brown, a nice earthy brown, because you get the red to do it, but then the green adds more earthy tone to it. So brownish highlights. I like how he does the black and does all the highlights above it. That's pretty smart. So you can get all your highlights above it instead of trying to do highlights first and shadows on highlights, which is always how I knew how to do it, because I would always study how to do comic art before I ever studied any other kind of art form, like how to do it. And it's always like, sketch everything out first, then do your like shadows on top of all of your highlights. Like you have to have your highlights planned out. You can't just do them right off the bat, but because of how, like, if you do ink work or whatever. But with painting, you kind of just like stamp in a big blob of black, add some yellow or some green, and you've got yourself a nice looking tree or grass, like how I've just done. And, you know, it doesn't look half bad. Like, you don't have to be some kind of art scholar to do it, which is, I think that's the entire point of Bob Ross's paintings, is that anybody can do this, which I think is just pretty awesome. We're gonna use this to just stamp in a little bush. And this is going to be rounder. This isn't going to be like some mixed up thing. This is a more systematic thing. So we're going to pump in some of that. And we're going to go very light with this. This is going to probably be the lightest thing. We're going to mix like this is like more foreground-ish. So we're going to have this more towards the front, and the leaves are going to probably be the same lightish color. Alright, let's grab some yellow, whatever yellow is left. There's like none in there. No yellow. Yeah, that'll be good. Yellow is very watery. It's not like, you know, I don't know what I mean. You don't know either. Alright, let's mix that together, get a little thicker. It's very watery yellow. And kind of like, because they're kind of non-existent up there. Clouds exist. Come on, guys. Come on, clouds. Wake up. Wake up. There we go. I think that looks a little better. You can almost not see them on camera. I think it looks better. Yeah. It's coming along, it's coming along. I guess before we do anything else, we should really get onto the snow on the mountain, because this mountain is boring right now. It's a boring mountain. We need some excitement, some kind of snow, some kind of thing. So what he'll do normally, I remember this. All my years of watching Bob Ross have helped me out. He says no pressure, and he'll go very lightly down the one side of the mountain. no pressure. It says he uses all the pressure he has. That looks like snow enough. And then he'll take one little corner. He says, take the corner, grab some blue, and he'll use the blue to make his shadows. Because he does the other side in a darker color. It's not just the same white color, it's a different color. He'll go the other way. Actually, I should go like this, because my hand is not skilled enough to do. It's a little globby. See, it's a lot harder to do in acrylic. This is probably the best acrylic Bob Ross painting you'll see in a while. Yeah, come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. That looks all right. That looks enough like snow to me. That looks enough. I'm using my hand as a napkin. You know, see, it's the things artists will do to complete a piece. Very brightly colored bushel. You know, if we need to get some black, we can to darken up some of these parts up here. Just do some shading in there. As you can see, that's a lot brighter. That's perfect. That's how I want that bush to look. So these are really great brushes, by the way. If you see some long stipply filbert brushes, these are very good for paintings like this. So I'm gonna let that one dry, and then we're gonna put some berries on it. But for now, let's try to get these leaves here, and I'm gonna do some like go in like a motion like that. So let me see. Let's pull these guys out here and go in like a twisting motion. If you know anything about what Neil Adams says, he says twist your pencil while drawing. I think that was an old video. He says twist your pencil while drawing. So same thing with your brush. When you do your leaves, twist them. Twist your brush. Get that twisting motion, and then you can take your, I think this is what he does. He takes his thing and it scrapes, no, oh, that's bad. Anyway, well, he'll do sticks with the knife, but yeah, he'll use the sticks to get, he'll use the knife to scrape in some sticks and stuff into the paint. A little commentary while I wear a GoPro so you can see everything clearly. Let me know and I'll do more, because they're fun for me, and I'm having fun. Ooh, that looks like trees, I think. Yeah, I'm having fun doing it, and I hope you have fun watching it. I just got paint on my face, so that's good. That's not good. Oh, that's nasty. All right, my camera died, but I had an extra battery, so we're back. All right, so this should be done, so we can actually add some berries there. So let's grab this Pyrrole Red. Put that in there. Just a little bit, because we're doing some tiny stuff. And let's see. What can I do? Because I want some little circles. So we can do, let me check here. Where's that little ball thing I have? This little ball tool. We can do this. We can dip the tip of this ball in some paint and then do this. And then you can get more paint and get different sizes of ball or berry. We need one more big one right there, I think. This is actually a tip I learned from CircWorks. If you don't know who he is, he did all of the old art hack videos for comic book artists. Helped me out a lot, and I learned a little tip from him about using round items to do little stipple dots. In this case, it works to make some berries. Okay, so I think this painting's almost done. We just need to do a little highlighting on the tree here. So let me, not red, that's still black. a little bit of reddish to get that dirty, more brown. I thought of dirt when I thought dirt when I thought brown. I guess because brown is dirt. Dirt is brown. Anyway. I don't know. There's not much else I could do to this, really. I don't really want to add too much and make it too complicated, because then it'll look weird. I'm just trying to do... Ew. Just gonna do this over here. Oh, it's so bad, dude. Give me black. I need black, black, black. That's so... Yeah, that's better. That's more in tone. You know, it's decent. It's not the greatest painting in the world, but I had a fun time doing it. And I got something for my YouTube channel. So yeah, I like that. I'm gonna just set it there for a sec and put all my paint away. So yeah, if you really enjoyed this video, which I enjoyed making it, please like and subscribe, because I will hopefully do more in the future. I do a lot of other art stuff. If you don't like painting, I do a lot of art with markers or with comic art. I've done watercolor stuff on here before, if that sounds like something you're interested. So yeah, check out the rest of my channel. I do a lot more, and I do hopefully more stuff like this, because this was really fun. But yeah, thank you so much for choosing my video to watch today. And dear Lord, this is a mess. Goodness gracious. I have some cleaning up to do, and you have some other videos to watch. So enjoy your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye.